Now, with regards to feeder roads, as you know, the European Union under the banner company measures will be financing the improvement to several feeder roads in the country. This has been a long, drawn-out process. I was just speaking to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia last week while he was here for the funeral, and he too lamented of his concern with regards to their own slow process in the implementation of the banner company measures. It's a challenge. I mean, the European Union are great partners, but we always have to lament the slow pace. The procurement process is very protracted, very, very cumbersome. They themselves in Europe complain about it. This is why you hear governments talking about there's too much power in Brussels and so forth, and they need to take back the powers. The British, the French, the Greeks, everybody is saying that Brussels has too much power and they have to take back the authority from Brussels because everybody's complaining about this stuff and so on. But that notwithstanding, we've always maintained our commitment to the feeder roads. And this is why we decided in the cabinet that we do not have the luxury of waiting for when the BAM to commence, because there's some farmers that are in a real terrible condition. And I speak here of some of them. There are others, but some of them. There is a Savonpai Road in the Calibishi Heights, in the community of Calibishi. Great farming community, serious prospects for even increased production, but the road there is terrible. We've also visited the Kayambok, Vauxhall Road. There's potential, though we hoping that more young farmers could produce up there to replace the older ones. And it's something that we have to engage the people in that community in Marigot, Londonderry area to get them to go back there. And we've given the commitment to do some intervention in the interim while we wait for the bigger intervention by the BAM. So we are committed to doing that. So in respect to Savonpai and Calibishi, by the end of this week, God willing, we will transfer some funds to the village councils of those two communities so that we can empower them to assist us in having those interventions made on these two roads. So some limited funds based on estimates we received from the Ministry of Public Works, just to do the really terrible sections, that we will make some funds available to ameliorate the situation, to carry us through to when the BAM feeder road intervention would commence. In respect to Savonpai and Calibishi, and Salisbury Heights and Carhome feeder roads, we actually started works on those two sections. As you know, it is a continuous road. You can either enter through Cuba Road in Mero, and get out in Salisbury, or you could pass through Salisbury and get out through Carhome Road. I have had the occasion to drive them on one occasion. So we started the intervention on both sections, on the Carhome section and the Salisbury section. And the first phase of that was to do the shoulder blading and the removal of the vegetation. And we always maintain that if farmers in federal, not only in those areas but throughout the country, recognize that these roads belong to them and not to the government, and that they should assist with vegetation management on the side of the road. Coconut branch falls, it's blocking the drain. Remove it. Don't drive over it. Leaves fall, they block the drains, they block the culverts. A few of you get together, use a shovel, use a cutlass. Some of you can use your cutlass to unblock it. Let's not watch the water washing away the road. And we're driving by every single day, because in most of the situations where the roads are bad, it is because in large measure of negligence on the part of the farmers. In large measure, it's because of negligence on the part of the farmers. I have seen farms where vegetation is covering the road, but the farmer's farm is clean like somebody's house. When the person could have simply used, the rest of the weedicide in his knapsack and spray it, or take his cutlass and cut it down, and then help in maintaining the road. Because this doesn't cost money. These are long tracts of road. Long tracts of road, they cost a lot of money. When you're talking about 21 kilometers, it's a long road to maintain. But if all of us recognize that when we divert money to transport your students to school, there's money coming from the Treasury. When we provide you with housing, that's money coming from the Treasury. When we provide you money to send your children to university at $200,000 a scholarship, that's money from the Treasury. When we say no free medical care for everybody's 18 and younger and everybody 16 and older, that is money coming from the Treasury. It is free to you, but it is not free to he who is providing the service. That's the government. So we are benefiting from what the country is doing. And therefore, we have to get together something. In my own village, and though I'm the Minister of Finance, when DOASO comes and breaks the road to give a connection to somebody, and they leave this hole for months, I don't wait for the government to come. I called a couple of guys in the village and let's go and block the roads. Or I get them to go and block it themselves. I could have instructed the government system to come and block the road right away as the Minister of Finance, but I didn't. It's my village. I'm the one driving in there. We're the one driving on it. It's not only the government driving there. You know, if I'm walking down at night and I go into the hole, I'm going to break my leg. It's not the government is going to break his leg. So we have to understand that we have to take responsibility. And it's not only the government who was a responsibility. We have a responsibility. So the shoulder blading on the Salisbury side of the road is costing the Treasury $67,000. And that work is ongoing. It's almost completed. And then on the car home section, it's costing us over $41,000. Just shoulder blading. So that's over $100,000 that if men and women could have taken a cutlass, or all those who go on the streets, the two separate times would have taken a cutlass and go up there, that work could have been done in 5 minutes. You understand? But that's a matter for them. The second phase has to do with the construction of rigid pavement. On the Salisbury side of it, we'll be paving 500 meters as the length and 4 meters wide, and the concrete will be 5 inches thick. And that will be at a cost of $254,495 for the Salisbury section. And on the car home section, which is 300 meters times 4 meters times 5 meters thick rigid pavement on the car home, inches, 5 inches. On the car home section, there's $152,697. So the total intervention for that area in question, you're talking about in excess of $515,000. The contracts, all of these 4 contracts have been approved by the Minister of Finance, and they're now with the Ministry of Public Works to effect on behalf of the state. So that will be the interventions the government will be making, and we hope that when the BAM kicks in, that the BAM will do the other less terrible or deplorable sections of the road and so forth. So this is $515,610.58 for the Salisbury Heights car home road. So this is what we're seeking to do then. And we're committed to this. Our hope is that the farmers can organize themselves and maintain the roads from henceforth. You know, maintain the roads. That's your roads. It saddens me when we have to raise all of this money, which is not easy to raise, because the amount of tax you pay in this country is not sufficient to run the country. You know, people feel they're paying tax and so forth. Yes, you're paying tax, but what benefits do you get? You understand? It is not sufficient to run the country. If we're to rely on taxation to do all what we have done in the country, building roads, building schools, hospitals, you know, homes for people, assisting various groups and organizations, the country will be deficit every single month. It is because of the government's, the relationship which the government has been able to engender over the years, the friendships that we have in this world, and the commitment by our development partners and our friends to assist us with our development, economic and social development, that we have been able to do a number of these things. A number of these things. So my hope is that people understand what they have to do, and that we'll do what we have to do from a government standpoint. But it's important for us to use our energy, our God-given talent, to do positive things. Not to destroy, but to do positive things. You understand? And to let our children know and understand that if we have a difference with somebody, that there are amicable ways and means to which to resolve those challenges. If we believe that violence is the route to go, then that's what our children are going to develop. And what kind of society we're going to have? Yes, we might want to beat our chest and say, "Boy, you know, I froze to the police, boy, I hit the police and so on." But what value? What benefit is this? You know, and I hear people say sometimes, "Oh, the government, because of this community, the government not doing this," and so this is not true at all. This is not true at all. Salisbury has never had water. Savon Pipe, we spend more money putting water there. Grand Savon never had water, pipe-borne water for people. We have assisted the people who have come to us, who have done some roads there on their own. They come, we get provided with cement and the tariff. They put in the labor in those communities. We have financed heavily the construction of the resource center in Monrachet. We did the roads in Monrachet, on the hill in particular there. Every student from Salisbury who goes to secondary school pays the bus and doesn't pay the bus. The government provides free bus service. There are several students whose fees have been paid for at the State College. There are several students from Salisbury who got on scholarships from the government, through the government. There are several people who are benefiting from the housing revolution. And as a matter of fact, if truth be told on this matter, my final point on this matter, Senator Roy used to do improvements on the road by himself and one or two other guys. People were not prepared to come together to volunteer. When the government provided the cement and the material, and people used to ridicule him for doing this. You understand? So we're not disputing that the road is bad, but I believe that if people want information, which we've been providing, then they have to use the information to their benefit and to the benefit of the rest of the community, and not to blind the information and to cause this unnecessary disruption of people's normal lives. But that notwithstanding, we are committed to doing the roads. The contracts have been signed in excess of $515,000. And our hope is that from henceforth the farmers will take care of the road and there'll be more production. There has to be more. If you're going to invest all this money, there must be more production taking place.